when I need to get to the front end and the back end. Um, and uh, make sure I know what we're talking about on all these plays. Okay, so one of the things we were talking about is lining up on the line of scrimmage. Mug, we call this, right? Or a split defense with a lineman or out wide, and you got two backers split up in there. Now, JT, you can talk about the back half a little bit. I kind of put this as is this a two middle? What kind of coverage are we doing here? Is kind of so you want to play this one
Yeah.
first.
So I don't know if it's a two mid. It kind of looks like it. I see why you call it that. We have a tag to this out of quarters. This kind of looks like a quarters look that I would put together, or you just got your mugged backers. But with him stepping up here, um, we could either call this a steal or a stab or whatever, just to kind of, or even a modified buzz, and then have this guy kind of overlap. He doesn't have to go this way though. I mean, he's playing a half. Um, but there you go. There's kind of your look here of half, maybe half, and you've got a pole runner here.
Yeah, so I just thought it was the point was I just thought it was a pretty good disguise for someone trying to figure out what they're trying to do, and you got corners sitting. Yeah, you kind of got a guy down here kind of in the flat that's maybe outflanked our guys a little bit, but
Yeah, this is
what?
such a long throw though.
Yeah,
You have time.
yep, and they get pretty good pressure um, on him as well to make him get rid of the ball probably a little bit earlier, so the back end. So I want to talk about the twist over here on the left. First, I thought it was very good. The reason why I have their tackles, JT, why I'm pointing at them is because when we get to our offensive side, we wanted to talk about the technique that you have to use again when you are in pass sets, right? So they kind of keep their shoulders very square to the line, which is what you're trying to do, and not turning too early. Well, we were having some issues, at least on one side, turning our shoulders too fast, in my opinion, and that's how you can get beat underneath, or you can get bull rushed, or you can get. So as you can see, 50 and 68, they're very square to the line, right? Um, but our twist actually worked pretty good, and that's kind of hard to do. JT probably can talk to that when if you're trying to get guys to know when they actually need to go underneath, um, where you become a free rusher.
Mm.
It's good timing. So good play. Good play. Alrighty.
Yeah, so you've got not having an edge here, and essentially, I think what you're getting at here is now that he's kind of in here, and you've got a tight end,
Yep.
pretty easy just to seal, and then once you get a hat on hat, if these guys are doing a good job out here, um, your edge guy is on the opposite side of the ball, right?
Yep. That's exactly it. And you can see it here that they might get a good run. Then when you look at it from the back end, you can definitely
Oh
see the
well, then
combo
yeah. So
buck up.
then you think as you're kind of watching the clip here, you're like, all right, here he goes. There's your extra guy. Great. You know, you got 4 over 4, and then this happens,
Yeah. Then he runs over
and he's
another
gone.
side.
So those guys are taken care of. You seal this guy, and your linebackers in there, and
Yeah. We're always talking about how it's a numbers game and you're blocked. There's a lot of running room out there. Now they're coming, but they're good running backs too. They find creases and they go. It's just you're just kind of outnumbered a little bit. So there you go.
yeah, this is why you want to have that +1, right? You need to have. If you're not going to have a +1, somebody's got to win their one-on-one battle in the right spot. And when you don't,
It's a good look from the back end. I know we just showed it to you, but You can see him checking like, oh, we're running over there. So I drew that he actually gets reached by the tackle. He gets a little bump from the tight end to go up, but we need to be a little bit stout there. Now
Yep.
look at
And then
that.
there you go. There's the seal. There it is.
It is. You're gone. Now we ended up fixing that and getting it done and not getting into it anymore. Um, but the whole point is you just got to be lined up sound as well, or at least fight to get in your gap. Okay. So JT, I put this up here because one of the most favorite red zone routes out here are, and maybe you can kind of draw it up. Well, 1 and 2 are kind of they either run hitches or some kind of China route or go in to stop, and then the number 3 guy runs the corner route.
Oh,
Mm,
well, that too.
up
Yeah,
into the corner.
our offense likes to do this.
Right? Yes. So that is one
So because there's
heavy
so
one,
much grass out here.
particularly when you're man to man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I liked, and why I'm saying I'm continuing to give Womack some praise here, is that if you look at our slot DB, he's lined up over number 2. He actually goes out and plays man to man on number 1. Yeah, and then the other guy goes to 2, then another guy goes to 3, and the corner is sitting there waiting for the other corner out. I thought it was pretty genius. I figured you might want to try to steal this too because it's pretty. When you run it, you can see how they all just kind of switch. Now that's not the route,
Mm-hmm.
but essentially, I wish I would have known this concept here a little while ago, back when I was coaching, because I really kind of like this. They're all covered up, so
Yeah,
uh,
so I guess what you're actually getting is the man here, and you're getting a bracket.
yep, yep, it's pretty good.
And you're not terribly worried about this matchup, even though that's a linebacker and that's one of their better receivers, just because there's not a lot of room. Like he can't beat you on a go route. There's only 15 yards of space right here.
Yep, yep. So, and
And
he's a
then when
good
he
cover
sits
guy.
down, yep.
Knocks it up. Hey, that's how you become MVP when you're a linebacker and you're covering.
Yeah, this has to be some kind of film study too, right? I mean, you're anticipating um, routes that they're going to run down here in the red zone.
Mhm. That's huge. That's huge. All right. Uh, let's see. Oh, let's head back in. I don't know what the play was. I got my draws up on the second part. Oh, I'm pretty sure I was giving some praise to our defensive lineman here. Might as well go to the back.
Well, the other thing is, ain't this the same play we just looked at just a second ago? Except now Bray Hubbard's in the middle of the field instead of standing right here.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true. Got a few more guys.
Yeah, so now you have that extra defender, right? And now he's walking over on the other side. Oh, there you go.
All right, so just talking about the technique. There's two different pieces, right, JT? So the one on the left side of the screen fights to stay in this gap and does a really, really damn good job. Okay, and I need for you to see that. And when you look at the one on the right, he's trying, but he actually ends up falling behind, going on the back side of the tackle, which leaves the crease. Right, so you may have to explain that a little bit better to me. He's fighting number 70, then he goes
Right. Okay.
behind.
There you go.
If he stays in the front side, the other
So
defensive
so
tackle
what
makes
he's
a play.
talking about here is they're already lined up in the gap they're responsible for. So at any moment in the play, you want him to be inside of 65, in between 65 and 79, and you want him to be inside or in between of 70 and 50. What you don't want is for either one of these hats to be in between these two, or those two. And what ends up happening is as you run this, you can see how he's still in between these two and beats the block. He's where he's supposed to be right now, but then kind of loses ground a little bit, and he gets reached. That's what we mean by reached, by number 70, allowing 50 to go up to the linebacker.
Yep, which is going to leave just that small little window for this running back to get through. So my
Right.
point was, it's just the little things. Yep. Now you got, these guys running up on your safeties and stuff. It's
Right.
not a detrimental play. It's just a small thing where it could be a
Right, but it,
tackle
it,
for
it
a loss.
definitely could have been, right? Where in the last clip, if he is standing over here, this is another huge play because he's not right here able to come downhill. He's right here trying to chase.
That's correct. Great point. Great point. So, gap control, super important. And I do know that we were not doing those things as well um, earlier in the season. What's going on?
I'm just trying to fast forward, but
Okay. So we're talking about the good things. The little things again. First, I want you to see the one on the left. I think I remember this, the defensive end. JT, he fights not to get hooked or reached. Doesn't actually make the play, but he darn sure make sure he doesn't get reached like they used to. And the same thing with the linebacker. He's got a lineman coming up to get him, and he has to go over the
and he
guy.
makes it.
Yep, and he
And
does.
and it's kind of, I don't know how well Chat's memory is here, but this is similar to Vanderbilt, where I'm not. I won't say about this guy because I don't remember. But our linebacker is in that same scenario where he needs to get over here, and he doesn't make it over the top. And there's a lane, and they're hitting it in here because our linebacker actually doesn't make it.
Yep. So he has to beat number 70, and then you can see our defensive end who actually runs out. But anyway, I know it's happening so fast. Maybe our guys aren't trained for that, but the guy, tries to crack back on our
Mhm.
defensive end and he whoops him. So it's pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. I see you, Monica. You in the house. You in the house.
And that's good too by your nickel.
Oh yes. Very good. I'm pretty sure this has a what I have I got on the back end, so it's something with these linemen again.
Oh yeah, so this is, I like this, um, because what you're doing right now is you're showing a, okay. So first, the strength is to the left because there's a tight end over here. So you run strengths to the left. So right now, as you line up, you've got, he's in a 9. That's fine, but he's in a 3.
Three.
This is a 2I, and that's a 5. So we call this over because the 3 technique is over to the tight end. So this is an even front. This is a 4 down, 4-2 look. Even though we all know that he's a linebacker, it's got over run fit, or it's got even run fits. You've got a bubble, right? There's a B gap bubble right here. All those good things. And then pre-snap, you get this. So now you have a 0 and a 4I and a 4I. And this now have just gone from an even front, or from an over front to a tight, or some of you might know this as mint. And this is odd. There are no bubbles. B gaps are closed. We're telling the offense, if you're going to run the ball, it's got to go, you got to go around us now. And I like this because this changes the blocking scheme up front when they're trying to figure out who's going to
Pre-snap.
double who, pre-snap, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Who's the mic? That could change. The center now is not gonna be able to help in either direction. He's got a guy right over him. They need to figure out who's going to help the center, if anybody. And when you change late, it can help out. Not all the time, but it can.
So I put fantastic because we're talking about the reads when we're just talking about linebackers when they're going. If you watch this, I remember the play. You got some pullers that are going to go, and he just goes, no hesitation, and you see the end on the right, seal it, with a great block. This is great by Zero. He just JT talks about it all the time, just seeing window. I mean, he's
Yeah.
someone asked me at the meeting, what would he see? Well, he see the pullers going, and
Yeah. And actually, I just read this in a newsletter too, but I agreed with it. And this is the same thing that we're trying to teach our linebackers is when you get the pull from your guard, you want to run through the first open window past the center. That's the
excuse me.
center. And here is your window. You want to just run right in there, which is exactly what he does.
Mhm.
You follow the pullers, you run through the first open hole, and looky there, you run right into the ball.
Yes,
Great play.
sir. So,
Anytime you can run fit and it looks like you're blitzing, you're doing something right.
yeah, when you were talking about a chat remembering early on, we were talking about how slow they were or how they were reacting as fast as they should. So, I think they're trusting the process and getting going a little bit more. All right. Okay, so I'll try to explain this. I thought this was good if you see it. So the circle, that's Bray, and the linebacker, I'm saying they are banjoing or they are both responsible for the tight end and the running back. We used to call this banjo. So if you're just looking at it and you're just on the outside, you're going, all right, the safety has a tight end and the linebacker has a running back. Well, it depends on which way they go. So I thought they executed this well to where they just basically passed it off because the running back went to the flat, tight end came up the seam, Bray goes through, and he just about to light this dude up. Bam. Nice and easy because you're expecting your linebacker to have to chase him. Um, but it didn't work out that way. So that guy's good. We showed some grades on him last time on Bray, and
Mm-hmm.
I think he had another great game. Uh, he's going to get some NIL money. All right. I put 1992 on here because JT, they're basically up in the mug. They got all these guys up on the line of scrimmage. The only difference I see is that in 1992, we had the corners and the safeties pressed where they're actually playing off. So maybe they ain't got enough guts like we did to be able to run up there and and play straight man. But this is basically what we did. So it's the mug stuff, except we pressed and we're off. That was my only point that in our game we would have been all up in their face. So we let it run. They can go. Um, but you can drop guys out. You can do whatever you want. You see them, same thing. They got to figure out what's going on. I think we actually do drop a backer out of there to the
Yeah, because
top.
I mean the offense and the quarterback, the offensive line and the quarterback need to figure out. First thing you got to do is um, find a mic. Which five are these picking up, and are you going to keep the back in
Mhm.
so you can pick up six?
But
And
there's seven
then
up there.
right now, but then there's still seven. So then the quarterback has to know, okay, these five have whichever five they've identified. The back has one. I'm responsible for the seventh. Um, and that's why it's effective to drop people out because you don't know who's coming out. The guy that the quarterback thinks that is his hot read is still coming, but they're dropping people out into that window. Kind of, you never know. The thing I was going to add to this is this looks like it has one of our formational rules, formation blitz rules, essentially saying, if the back is not going to stay in and block, who has the back.
Hill.
Right. And what I like to tell these guys is look, all of you guys need to get to the quarterback, but nobody gets out of the backfield. If you see somebody try to leave, you draw your box. If anybody tries to leave out of this box, you have to go get them. Now, high school, I just tell them just go tackle them. Probably can't do that here. That they probably call you for holding. But once you see this guy exit, we got to go with him and cover that up, and that's what Malachi does here. That makes it quite difficult, and because they're trying to run a screen here, now you also have a free guy coming downhill.
Yep. It's a great job by Malachi just going to forcing that guy to declare real quick. So I love it. You know, you line up and showing it and let them try to figure out who's doing what. Um, so keep it up. Love the pressure. Sometimes I worry about them just showing it all the time, but
Oh.
all right. Oh yeah, I just needed to see the INT. So JT from this wide angle, um, uh, trust me, this is a tremendous play. But sometimes as coaches, you're going, okay, um, glad you made it and all that kind of stuff because it's black back flares. I'm not totally certain, but I'm pretty sure that's probably his guy down there that's wide open.
Yeah,
But anyway,
probably.
yeah, you can't take away from it. But I'm sure you. Hey, I'm glad you made the play. But that's probably his running back that's going out there. He kind of gets froze because of that guy that comes underneath.
Yeah, and I think he sees the quarterback's eyes right here too.
Yo, he trying to hit that dude. What are you talking about? But hell of a snag. And at first, I was like, did he mean to put his knee down, or did he just kind of catch it and fall down? I'm just glad it wasn't one
At the
yard
one,
the other
yeah.
way. Yeah, that's a hell of a catch, though. That's awesome. Really, really good. Really good. So, okay, is that all of them?
Yes. Offense.
All right. What I got?
Your notes here say back end, opposite high low, and flood.
Yeah.
So
So check this out here first on the wide. I don't know if you saw it. Tight end runs the drag. Number three runs the high, the coming in. Yes. But the slot runs the corner, and then you got a deep route or something like that. So you kind of got two different route concepts here. Kind of interesting.
yeah, and you kind of, and they're kind of blended together, right? Yeah, because you do have the flood concept, which flood for those flood can be run many different ways, right? So you can get this, or you can have this with the back. The back can come out here, tight end, whatever. The idea of route concepts is not the routes in particular. It's the spots and the spacing. So all flood means is it's a flood is a three-man concept. One of those guys is going to be deep. One of those is going to be deep and outside, whether it's a corner or a deep out or a wheel, whatever. Doesn't matter. One guy's up here, another guy's right here, and another guy's going to end up short. And you're trying to stretch the defense vertically, typically to hit this middle route. So you can still get that flood concept, like you were saying. There's the corner, and the flat is coming from the backside, but you also have the high low on the linebackers.
Love it.
You might call this drive concept, where you got somebody low running in front of the linebackers. You got somebody running behind the linebackers. So you're trying to put them in conflict as well as this dude. So it's kind of like you can pick your concept before, depending on what your read is and all that kind of stuff. You can look at this concept first and then the flood concept, because it's going to take them a while to get over there. But I think that's beautiful play design.
It is, and then you'll see what happens as it breaks down and how it ends up. But we'll talk about the concept as it goes here. I love how they start identifying, talking about it. I'm going to show you because they didn't pick up the blitz, but you can see the slot guys really what I'm trying to do. He actually ends up being the deep corner, and that guy is your middle part of your flood, and then here comes the tight end to be the short part later.
Right. So these are kind of the landmarks that you're looking for here when you're looking for flood. One deep, one medium, one short, all outside. We are flooding this side of the field.
Yep. Okay. Now, why to get out of there, JT? Sometimes I think this is the first offensive play. You all hype, crowd noise, and you watch our right guard. I think he just had a little too much spark, Celsius something, because I have no idea where he's going, guys. Right?
Oh, he gonna wait you for. He must have thought it was a run play
Yeah, I don't know
because
what's going
that's definitely not pass pro.
on. Yeah. Now, there's another reason why you're thankful you had the kind of quarterback you have. Bad snap, getting the ball, he's getting out of here. Okay, so that was one thing, and then what I wanted to point out was the tackle again. Again, is just how early do you turn your shoulders because they start to bend this corner on you. Now, obviously, he doesn't get the sack, but I mean, he's beat. At
Yeah,
that
and
point.
this is the one. If you're just looking at these two in a vacuum, this is when you're saying, "Hey, Jalen, you gotta step up in the pocket," but ain't nowhere to step up this time. This
Yep.
is somebody yelling, "Watch out!"
Yep. I know. I was like, oh my gosh, but he gets out of the pocket, he runs deep, he's fast, he can get around it, and then he hits your middle of your flood guy over the sideline. Whoop whoop, get you some. Okay, good work. Uh, what I got?
Back end combo blocks, unique QB run tendency. So I think this is the touchdown here. And somebody had asked me, oh, maybe it's not. Never mind. This is not the touch. Oh, yes, it is. Somebody asked me, what did LSU do differently on defense that allowed Jalen to run for an ungodly amount of yards and 4 touchdowns?
He
That
didn't listen to our show last week.
that uh, other teams were not doing. And I picked this play to show because I was like, because there's other people that are also like, hey, you just need to blitz more on all the time. And I've always been trying to defend myself on like this is like the quintessential play of like why you can't just blitz all the time. And we can talk about more of the ins and outs of what Alabama's doing offensively. But what I was trying to point out was this guy ends up going on a C gap blitz. He's going outside and around the tackle,
It's on the back end,
and your cutback, Jalen's gonna go right here,
right where he left from.
right. And if you left him alone and just let him sit right here, you might make a tackle, but you blitzed him around the wall, and the ball is going right in here. So you have to be careful. You can't just send guys because stuff ain't working.
Can't guess. Gotta play sound. So yeah, I think I drew up on this where you got some who has who by rule and the guy. So the center of the guard got post combo block up to 18, and then the guard and tackle post a combo block up to 40. Tight end has the other end. But number 18 makes it easy because he just runs around to
Mm-hmm.
the left.
Yep.
So
He leaves. He blocks himself.
so remember where 18 is, and then Jalen finds exactly where he left from, and it's over after that. But we did talk about our tendencies. Someone asked me how did we do. It's like I felt like we were going to have some quarterback runs or some different runs. I didn't think it was necessarily going to be this one because they ran this type of play multiple times. Um, but it was kind of cool to see how I exploited, you know, the edge basically with Jalen. It's the same run. I didn't put anything on here. It's basically they don't have an edge. Their
Yeah,
guy runs over
but
to
you
the other
have
side.
this is also interesting because again, you're making defensively, you are making a huge concession here.
Running that corner over, you mean?
Yes, I
Yep.
mean 'cause this is exactly this my first game as a defense coordinator, right? Doing stuff like this, and you're trying to roll safeties over the top, right? And as soon as you move that safety back, you're already like, yep, here comes speed option because that guy used to be
The other
standing
way.
right here and now he's back here. So, um, yeah, you do this. I guess they didn't want the corner on the tight end. They make a Connie call and move the corner over, and it's like, duh,
Yeah.
we seal this guy, and I'm gonna try to make this dude miss.
Mhm.
And oh boy, would
I
you look
mean,
at
it's
that?
pretty easy, 1-on-1. It's not a killer, but it's enough to get the first down and keep the chain moving. And if you're, I don't know. Again, that was one of the tendencies that we showed. The backers are running, just going with the running back. They were very, very aggressive with that. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if 40 went too fast or.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about that while I was at sponsor Black Friar on Saturday, and they asked people asking me what was going on and what I thought, and I said, well, 40 is a good player, but he has a tendency to be in the wrong spot a lot. Uh,
Yep, yep. This is a not so good play. Again, we got numbers,
mm-hmm.
and I drew up what's supposed to happen. Those two receivers are supposed to block those two defenders, but uh, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but we don't block either one of them.
They miss. So by no means do we have a perfect game, but that's kind of oh gosh, you kind of get upset if you're running back. Okay, athletic lineman. You got to watch him the whole play, particularly on the back end. So he pretend like he's going right. So it looks like stretch or reverse or something. Then he whips back out of here, goes back the other direction, seals the defensive back, gets him. Woo! You might want to show it off. That is first of all, that is a big man. And so he's got to sell the run to make this guy go down inside. Then he
Yeah, and
whips
then he
back
get and he
out.
gets the corner. Like this isn't the linebacker.
Mm-mm.
Oh, my bad. The
So
person that he is blocking is standing right here right now.
now you talk about play design, and you're talking about film study. What do we do all week? They knew this stuff was going to bump down, that he was going to
Uh,
chase the
did you hear Brian
receiver.
Kelly's interview after the
Uh,
game when he was like, "Yeah, if you're watching the game, you're probably asking, what did these guys do for 2 weeks?"
that's right. So, I mean, this is coaching deal. Now that's athleticism. And you can just, I mean, I just, a lot of times you don't see that because you're just thinking of this running back, out here on the screen. But that move that was done by Proctor at how much does he weigh? Shoot, that's pretty
Enough.
good. Yeah, he didn't even have to shoot at the. Okay, speed kills is what it said. There's nothing fancy about this. We'll talk about the 17-year-old one more time. We miss him, but that good lord, JT. I mean, it's just being in the foot racing. You ain't even got
Yeah,
to.
and I don't. I mean, it's not like right on the money, but there is a. I should have pulled it. He was in a spot where it hit him in both arms. It's just torrential downpour and probably a little bit harder to hold on to,
Yeah,
but
maybe he
it's
puts a little bit more air on it or something. But I
it's a
mean,
catchable ball.
now he stood in there. I mean, golly, that's bad feeling, boy, when you chasing like that. Or 14 see him just turn around because he supposed to be their best DB too. he probably like, God, who is this dude? Um, okay,
Yeah,
he's special, man.
he's 14 is thanking all the football guys that That one didn't go for 6.
Mhm. All right. Yeah, wet ball drill 8K, as you say. Uh, what I got here? All
Tackles.
right, the tackles. So I just wanted you to see the difference in their sets early where I had the arrows at. The guy on the left shoulders were square, and the guy on the right was already had opened up his gate a little bit. So I mean, we ended up being okay. It's just a matter of the little things of, now he has to step up. Uh, we missed the pass, but that it really wasn't
Yeah, I
important. It was
think
about the tackles.
in some respects, I think LSU is kind of lucky here that it was raining as bad as it was. Uh, Maybe not on the offensive side of the ball because they were having some problems throwing it too. But
I'm glad because that was supposed to be their strengths. So there you go. You can see them. All right. Oh, you could have moved on. It's just the
mm,
deep sets and uh. Okay, I only put this up there because it was unbalanced. Just reminding people on how much we run it. There's nothing big that happens during this
yeah,
play. It's just making sure you know who's ineligible, or they should know. Because you got a bunch of people out here and they don't know what's going on. Which I'm kind of interested to see how Mercer's going to line up to this. We'll show it in the film a little
we
bit
will,
later.
and I think I have kind of figured out their wing rules on what they're going to do with this guy. Um, I think they
Mhm.
have some pretty big tendencies. Foreshadowing. Look at that. All right,
Yeah, that's right. All right.
a couple more plays here.
I just put it here as just another great coaching piece. This is a draw with he just following the running back on the outside. I don't know what they saw or what tendency. I do know what they saw because we talked about this. Go back. Let me see in the beginning. No, there wasn't even another guy in the box. They just knew that they were going to be because he runs out of there, the linebacker.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually draw different lines
Is
here, right? Him for him for him. And you might think here, but no, you don't actually need to do that. Um,
the running back that was actually
right.
going to look for him.
You can go here, and since you got the running back as a lead, there's your 4 for 4, and then you're in the same situation that Alabama was on the first play we showed you, where you don't have enough people because he's going in here and this guy's on the other side of the field.
Yep. Well, then you see what the result is. See ya. I mean,
And then somebody might want to
yeah,
tackle this
yeah,
dude.
yeah. So I think it's just coaching, and watching a ton of film. Uh, I think this was 2 plays later. Is that what I put?
This is 2 plays later. Yes.
2 plays later. Looks like the same formation. He's trying not to creep out there, that running back, linebacker, but he runs out there anyway. So before he kind of widened out a little bit, but now he's running blind because he
the,
think his
the
pass.
exact same play.
Yeah, exact same. This is literally 2 plays later. So that's great coaching. People in the box just going, "Hey, run it
Run it
again.
again.
See if they make an adjustment." Okay. I don't know how many more plays we got, but
This one and the next one.
okay. So oftentimes we're talking about the mid-range throws. I think he dropped this,
He
but
did.
he hit the guy right in the hands. Main thing is in the back end, they ran a twist and we pick it up uh, flawlessly, passing off guys. That's how you do it with the
Go ahead and right in the face. You
offensive
can't
line.
ask for a better. That's a tight spiral, right on the money. Beat him up, ball.
Yep. So come on, Kendrick. All right. Uh. Okay. So check out this pool. Watch 45 again. No. I'm
Oh,
going the
those
other
those
way.
false reads, man.
Going the other
Oh my
way.
god. See, I I hate this. I hate this as a defense because what do you
Oh,
tell your guys to do? It's like, okay, you got fast flow, you got this dude here, he's pulling.
mm,
Everything is telling you to go this way. Center's coming back this way, and then he just
center comes
stops
over
and
there.
goes back. Man,
And it looks like the center's supposed to block down, but he's actually a puller. That's why I mean. There's so many smoke and mirrors here because the center gets out of the way and wraps all the way around against the guy, and that's just ain't fair. So I don't know, man. These are hard things to do. We're coaches too. When you see a lot of this stuff, you're like, "Good Lord, man, this guy got so much stuff that you got to practice for and think about, and not give your guys overkill because there's so many what ifs." And you show this play to your guys, they're going to start saying, "Well, what if he turns around and goes back and you can't?"
yeah, because then a lot of
Yeah,
time you're
no.
like, man, that's a dumb question. Nobody's ever gonna do that. And then they're like, psych.
And one time, and you got Ryan Williams coming around. You know, it's it's genius, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And you get a little bump by the quarterback. Okay, that wrap them up for the LSU stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I think it just shows JT we're on the right mark. If we keep having this trajectory, by the time you get to the playoffs, who
Yeah,
knows
no,
what
this is
this?
this is what you want your offense and defense to look like. There was a lot of good things going on. Um, it it felt like not just the score, but like this felt kind of like the Wisconsin game back when we did that review of, oh look, we got another spam guy in here.
Uh oh,
I think the bot caught him this time.
that bot got him.
Hope so. Um, but anyway, I was saying that's it felt like that Wisconsin game where I was saying, look, they're just actually scheming guys up right now. Is not just talent. The play calling and play design is really what's killing them. Um, and it was good to see that in this moment this week.
I guess a very good football team. All right, well, y'all got to give us 90 seconds to uh, take a quick glass of water to the head real fast, and we're gonna come back and talk about Mercer. 90 seconds. We'll be right back.